A frightened cat stood at the window. His eyes were huge, reacting to my every movement. I just wanted to help, but he was someone who had lost trust years ago. And that very day, everything started to change. I had moved to a small house in the countryside. During the first few months, there was only silence and nature around me. But one morning, when I looked out the window, a thin cat was wandering around my yard. He was so skinny you could count his bones. His fur looked dull and dirty. I immediately understood. This was a street cat who needed help. I started seeing him every day. He would come in the mornings, walk carefully around the yard, then disappear. One day, when I looked closely, I noticed something. Part of his ear had been cut off. At first, I thought it was frostbite or an animal attack, but then the neighbors told me someone had deliberately cut it. This broke my heart. This cat wasn't just fighting hunger, he was fighting his past. I decided to make first contact. I opened the door and softened my voice to call out to him. "Hey, sweetie, come here." But as soon as he saw me, he froze. His eyes grew even bigger, and a second later, he ran away. That's when I understood. This cat was afraid of humans. I immediately found a can of tuna and put it outside. I stepped back and started waiting. The cat slowly approached, constantly looking around. When he smelled the tuna, he quickly started eating, but I was still there, and this made him uncomfortable. He tensed at my every movement. The next day, I bought cat food. I put it outside the window and started watching. The cat came, dove into the food, but constantly checked on me. He had a predatory gaze, as if he expected danger at any moment. He would eat from about 2 meters away, then stop to scan before continuing. This routine lasted for weeks. Every day he would come, eat, and leave. But one day I noticed he was getting closer, maybe within 1.5 meters. This was huge progress. I named him Cinnabon because his fur was cinnamon brown and he had a sweet face beneath the fear. As days passed, I started getting used to Cinnabon, but I still didn't know the end of this story. I had decided to take the next step, bringing him inside, but this was going to be harder than I thought. If you're enjoying this journey and haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it. Stories like Cinnabon's deserve to be shared with people who understand the power of patience and love. One day, I was sitting on the balcony. Cinnabon came to the window and looked inside. His gaze was different, as if asking, "Should I come in?" But he didn't have the courage. I stood up and quietly went inside. He ran away too. Then I made a plan. I left the sliding door half open and put food inside. Cinnabon came, looked at the door, smelled the food, but didn't enter. He only tested the boundary with his nose. He put his paw inside, then pulled it back. His fear was evident. This game continued for several days. Every day, I opened the door wider and left the food farther inside. Every day, Cinnabon became braver. Finally, he crossed the threshold. When he was inside, he froze. He looked at me. I looked at him. I didn't move. And he ate. This moment was tremendous. This wasn't just a cat entering a house. This was building a bridge of trust. We were rebuilding the trust he had lost. But everything wasn't over. When Cinnabon came inside, he ate, then suddenly ran. He burst out the door, stopped, and looked at me, as if saying, "Too soon? I'm sorry." In the following weeks, we repeated the routine. He would come, go inside, eat, and run away. But each time, he stayed longer. One day, 2 minutes. The next day, 5 minutes. Then 10 minutes. This excited me, but I knew I shouldn't be hasty. One evening, I left the door open. Cinnabon came, went inside, and this time he didn't run. He slowly walked toward the living room, stopping at every step. Then he went under the stairs and looked at me. There was still fear in his eyes, but something else too: curiosity. That night, Cinnabon stayed inside, but hid under the bed for hours. I gave him space. I quietly sat and read. Hours later, I heard small footsteps. He was coming out. He walked slowly toward me, stopping at every step. He stopped about 1 meter away and sat. We looked at each other. I slowly extended my hand. He backed away. I pulled back. A minute passed. Then he stepped closer. This dance lasted weeks. I would extend my hand. He would get scared. I would wait. He would come closer. Then one day, a miracle happened. I extended my hand and he rubbed his head against my arm. I felt his soft fur. His heart beat fast, but he wasn't scared. He was showing affection. After that, everything accelerated. Cinnabon wanted me to pet him. He would come and meow, a special meow, long and emotional, as if saying, "Thank you. I finally found someone I can trust." Now we watch movies together. He rests his head on my arm and sleeps. He has breakfast with me. He follows me in the forest, climbs trees, runs and plays. He's my adventure companion. One day when I came home, Cinnabon was waiting at the door. He ran over and licked my arm. He had missed me. This cat was no longer a street cat. He was family. Now Cinnabon lives a balanced life. He goes outside or stays inside when he wants. But his favorite moments are with me. When we're walking in the forest, I can see he's happy. Every morning, I give him a treat. "Good morning, my sweet Cinnabon." He meows and looks at me with loving eyes. These moments taught me empathy, being part of an animal's life, earning their trust, incredible experiences. Cinnabon came uninvited, but accepting him was one of my best decisions. Someone once told me, "You don't choose a cat chooses you." How right they were. Cinnabon chose me, and I learned to be patient, to love unconditionally. Sometimes love comes unexpectedly. Earning trust takes time, but it's worth it. Kindness didn't just change Cinnabon's life, it changed mine. True friendship can change us in ways we can't imagine. So what would you do? Would you give a scared animal like Cinnabon a chance?